Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, or good night. I'm going to present the grammar section of Unit 3A, Things I Love About the US. Okay, we are going to work with the simple present, the positive and negative sentences. First of all, I took some sentences from the reading. And Americans like fast food, they live in houses with yards. My husband works from 9 to 5 and has 3 children. These sentences, some of them are in green and some of them are in blue. What are the difference between these two pair of sentences? First, we have to remember the verb, right? The verb is going to change according to the person we are using. Americans like, for example, and they live. We don't change the verb, we use it in the base form. On the other hand, we have my husband works and has 3 children. The difference mainly between these pair of sentences are the verbs, how they change. Now we are going to see the rules, right? In a more deeply way. Here we have some sentences with each of the people. I work, you work, he or she works, we work, you work, and they work. What is the difference now with the other ones? The difference is that we have them in the negative form. I don't work, you don't work, he or she doesn't work, we don't work, you and they don't work. As you can see, we are using another auxiliary here that is don't or doesn't. So we use the auxiliary for negative forms and we use the verb in the base form for the positive. But in the third person, the verb change. For works, we are going to add an S. Later, we are going to see the spelling rules. Remember that we use the simple present for things that are generally true or that habitually happen. For example, I work at wine. Carla studies at pharmacy school. Abigail works at night. Those are routines. Those are habitual things that we cannot change. Remember that we use the contractions in the negative form with the auxiliaries don't for the full form do not, and doesn't, the full form is does not. As you can see, try to remember again that when we make negatives, we use don't and doesn't plus the verb in the base form. The base form of the verb is when we don't modify it. We don't use any other prefix or suffix. We use it in the simple form. Please, as in the following example, check out the difference that we say he doesn't work, but we cannot say he doesn't works. As we have the auxiliary helps me to use the verb in the base form. As I told you before, we are going to see the spelling rules. For example, the spelling rules change when we use he, she, or it, especially on those 3 people, those 3 pronouns. As the verb, most of the verbs we generally use S. For example, I work, he works, I play, he plays, I live, he lives. In those 3 verbs, we only add S. When the verb ends in CH, SH, O, we are going to add ES. For example, she watches, she finishes, she goes, and she does. We also are going to have a difference in study when my verb ends in Y. When my verb ends in Y, we are going to drop or remove the Y, and we are going to add IES, like in she studies. The spelling rules for the he, she, or it forms are the same as for the plurals. If you want to remember one of them, please go to the Grammar Bank 2A of your student's book. Be careful with some he or she it forms. Those are irregular. For example, have is one of the exceptions. We don't add only an S, and we change almost all of the verb for has. In this case, he has a beautiful house. Could it be? I go, we are going to change it for gas, does. Those ones especially change the pronunciation as it is marked in here. And say change to says. We don't say says, okay? Says. Okay, so I hope this can help you. Please, if you have any doubt, let me know through the WhatsApp group or in personal. Bye.